Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about a stock that has been kind of all the rage recently, especially if you keep up with Barstool Sports or Dave Portnoy or whoever, or I guess the gaming industry as well, which is Penn National Gaming, ticker symbol PENN. If you don't know, Penn National Gaming is an American operator of casinos and racetracks based in Pennsylvania. It operates 43 facilities in the United States and Canada, many of them under the casino brand, Hollywood Casino brand. The company also controls a 36% stake in Barstool Sports, which is probably the biggest reason why many of you have heard of them. You know, I'm sure you've heard of or seen the commercials for, whether it's DraftKings or FanDuel, and there's one more that I'm currently blanking on, but you may not have heard of Penn National. Obviously, when it only operates 43 different facilities, that's not a whole lot, but they are trying to get their apps and stuff like that pushed out nationwide. And that's the thing. A lot of their stuff is based simply in Pennsylvania, and this is something that Dave Portnoy keeps pushing. As soon as this thing goes nationwide, this stock price, currently right around $66, should theoretically just skyrocket. And ever since they kind of entered in that Barstool Sports agreement, they were at $4 at one point. They've kind of just skyrocketed, and that's kind of the Dave Portnoy effect, you know. Even around here, that was still a really good buy, and it got all the way up to $76.62 at one point, and that's just kind of the effect. I guess they were as low as $3.75, and I don't know, these gaming stocks are really speculative, and when we go into research them a little bit more, you'll see a beta of 2.59, which means they are 2.5 times riskier, or I guess, yeah, 2.5 times riskier than the stock market as a whole, which means you should also be expecting extremely high returns from a stock like this. But at a $66 price tag, the 1-year price target estimate is 74. There's not a whole lot of room to go. I mean, it's very risky, but I think the reward could potentially go well beyond that 74. You could be in the triple digits by the end of the year, potentially, for a stock like this. And I think a lot of it is just the momentum of how big the gambling industry is going to be, and is kind of already. And you see this little bit of a decline over the last couple of days. I think in Penn's case, they announced that they are issuing more shares of their company, which would kind of inherently drive the price down because it's more readily available. So people are selling out of it here recently. Currently has a market cap of around $10 billion, earnings per share of negative 7.36. So they're not profitable as of right now, which is obviously something that you got to take into consideration. We can scroll down here. They beat their earnings in quarter 2. And then quarter 3 gets posted October 29th, which is something you probably want to keep an eye on, especially around the $66 price tag. You know, it's very, very interesting stock we have here. We have one strong buy, 5 buys, and 5 holds. It is currently just past a buy rating. In between a buy and a hold, the current price tag for it is 66.56. The average is 74.14. The low is 31. So someone's super bearish on this stock, and the high is 100. I could see it going beyond 100 potentially, but this is just kind of, you know, the intrinsic value of this stock. These are what people think it should be worth as of right now, given everything. And I don't know whether they take into the account the power of, you know, Dave Portnoy, whether you like the man, whether you hate the man. He is a marketing genius, and he does a really good job with, you know, again, marketing his brand, supporting his company, being supportive of other companies and helping them boost. And that's kind of the thing we've seen with Penn Gaming. They aren't the biggest. They aren't the biggest of these gambling stocks. If you want to check on something like DraftKings, I assume DraftKings is much larger, so 15 billion compared to 10 billion. So it's not as big as I would have thought, but there is quite a discrepancy there. We can check out some of the key statistics here. Trailing PE of 61, forward PE of 68. That is extremely high. But again, you see those things from the earnings per share that they posted of negative numbers, -7. So that's kind of to be expected. And then we can scroll down here a little bit more. Earning on assets of 1.9%, so not great. Return on equity of -51%. That's pretty bad. Profit margin, again, they're not profitable currently. We can continue scrolling. Revenue of $4.12 billion. Quarterly revenue growth of -76%. Gross profit of $2.41 billion. Net income. Diluted earnings per share, that's what we kind of already covered. Total cash of $1.24 billion. Total debt of $11.99 billion or $12 billion. We'll just round up there. Total debt to equity of 796.73. So essentially what that means is for every dollar they owe, about $8 in debt. So that that's not good as well. Operating cash flow of $257.8 million. Leverage free cash flow of $106.88 million. Obviously, they acquired that big portion of Barstool Sports, so you would kind of expect for their cash flows to be a little bit low, as they are currently paying out a lot of those to the people involved in that deal. Total revenue has kind of grown, massive growth here in 2019. Then currently it's above where it was at 2018 now, but not as high at 2019. Gross profits kind of did the exact same thing. We can keep scrolling. Nothing more we want to look at there. Balance sheet. Total assets have grown, and that's kind of what you would expect from the current situation. But total debt has also grown, with total assets being out by $3 billion. So that's a decent sign. Operating cash flows pretty low, and then obviously free cash flows of around $76 million. So it's a really interesting position. I think the momentum of something like this. In the long run, you'll probably end up making some money on this, and I think even in the short run you could make some money, but obviously we're not day traders here on this channel. We're kind of we're long-term investors. We're hoping to retire off the money we make. So me personally, will I be buying any Penn National? No, probably not. Do I think there's money to be made here? Probably. But there was a hell of a lot more money to be made when it was around $10, $20, $30 a share, which again I did think about buying, but obviously I was not able to pull the trigger on that. So let me know if you own any of Penn stock. I think it's going to be an interesting play for sure. I think gambling is only going to get bigger and bigger. I think Penn is only going to get bigger and bigger, and you could see them potentially be one of the lead gambling, if not the biggest gambling sites here within a couple of years, because of the power that Barstool Sports has, because of the following that they have, and just pushing all the things that come with them. So again, let me know if you own any of Penn stock, and or whether you're considering buying it, whether you're going to sell out, whatever it may be. This is definitely a very speculative stock, and that beta is something that it's a hard pill to swallow for sure. So hopefully the returns are high, but the risk is also very, very high. So let me know those things in the comment section below. If at any point you did enjoy something you heard in this video, go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as we continue our climb to 1,000 subscribers. And until next time, happy investing.